Good afternoon. Ngasi BPSC post 132 gi Indian Government and Politics ki Block 3 Institutions ki Unit 7 da Legislature haiba paraji ngasi koi ngasi nainaji Legislature haiba ji koi gi maroina institutions ahum ko koi executive legislature aduga judiciary aduna ahum laibida legislature jina koi gi lori ba thodang ji koi gi law making koi gi leba ma ngang na gi Kangwon sem by that I londa law assembly my primary role see legislation na law ni aduna introduction da koina yengin nagadab si sai legislation execution and adjudication of rules their implementation and evaluation are important functions of a government haidana laiba amagi lengak sina tawdaba padagi maroi ba mathau dang singi marakta koigi legislation haidana law semba aduga haiba lodubu sanahanba madubu mathau pangthonba aduga madudagi thorakpa wayet nyamdugi asumarani saira iba magi adugi adjudication ko of rules masigi kenosiga haiba myamsi sanahalaga madugi afapata tathodasun yengaga matam matungina koigi hana sanaramba law su semdok semjin tawba ko koigi lothokiba natraga anoba law sempa natraga hana sanaramba law si koigi semdok semjin tawba ko pasigi myamsi koigi lega nga koigi kwaidagi maroiba thodang singi manung sanba oi. In a democratic political system, these functions are performed by the legislature, executive, and judiciary, which function under the principles of check and balances. However, my democratic political system, Niamna Lengak Saba, Adumba Lenga Patava Magi Manunda, Haiba, Tabak Tong Singasi, Lengapagi Tabak Tong Singasi, Asagi, legislature, executive, Aduga judiciary, Haiba, Marueba institutions, Ohum. Lengak pada sang maruiba institutions ahum jina koi pangthoya aduga haiba myamsi legislature ne executive ne judiciary ne ahum sing asai gi coexist over kansta amana amagi magi kayani tawungamba ko mathau jingji kara yengthok yengsin to ba da second balance amana kaina executive na power si amkana kaina seasonaraga su madugi yaba yadaba madugi angkhayama koi ngak pasidai koi judiciary asobo role like judicial review kaina kai mamang na kai nei gi yawiba namai tawdana legislature na su ngasai gi law je semopa kan da su ngasai gi law je hekta semaga madugi law du egoina kai ko ta sanna ba pass over ya da bana singba kai gi sugumba kai no check and balances ko amana toriba activities nyam sida sum arana fafata ka hendo henjin leitna bagi hona bagi kai no mas sigi sana pathap si manung di yauzeri aidar. The nature of a political system or the government depends to a large extent on the relations and the functioning of these institutions. Aduna leiba amagi lenga to gi magi mawong matausi kamai tawuno aduna magi masatsi koina lenga longi masatsi koina yenga pakanda asai hairiba institutions ahum sigi legislature executive aduga judiciary ahum sigi marakta lainariba mari aduga maikoina tawba thabak thongi mawong matawsingduna lep yadare haibdi lairiba any leba amagi lengaksi democratic oibra natraga dictatorial oibra natraga na koigi autocratic oibra abi tunga magi democratic way har phawda ngasai monarchy ni aduni adani emba natraga su ngasai democratic system amani haina claim tawra phawda ngasai how democratic haibagi kenosi haiba koigi lengaki organ maroiba ahum sigi marakta lainaiba mari aduga maikogi thabak tawgi muma tawsing aduna lep ya habsa. The sharing of powers between the three organs of government is called separation of powers. Aduna haiba organs ahum sigi kogi maroiba institutions ahum jina amana maga share tawnaba powers si ngasai gi yenaraga ba ngasai gi amana ngamba khara amana ngamba mai area se khaidona kan adumaina kogi power singsi yenaraga kogi lengak kogi thabak thong si sathabase masibu separation of powers and kogi power se kogi yenthokna ba haitare ko maina thami hoji legislature aiba kogi law making body supreme law making body si masigi matang na koina yengbada legislature habisi Latin word lex habis dei lakani machine habisi distinct kind of legal rule mainly of general application and the leba miyam gi sanna ba same badu gumba saigi kangon haidare ko legal rule adu ni aidana Latin word lex habis dei laura kanda legislature aidi adu gumba sanna kanglon leba nga pa sanna kanglon miyam du same ba body to legislature ko na maina ko lakibani. This rule is named legislation and the institutions which enact it on behalf of the people is known as legislation. Adana rule making gi thabak sibuni legislation haibasi aduga haiba rule making toriba law semiba institutions sibuna sagi miyam gi mahusilaga semi haidana masigi body sibuna institutions sibuna ko na legislation na ko. Two models of legislative structure, namely the parliamentary and presidential. Adana legislature gi NOC magi momato salo saktam sawong sing asai ani thongna lei amana parliamentary and presidential haidana India da sana ribasna parliamentary system kawika. Adana in parliamentary model the executive is selected by the legislature from among its own members, therefore the executive is responsible to the legislature. Adana parliamentary models that the kamaita ganda executive high ba masagi maroiba main powers and functions exercise story ba kogi organs government ki organs masi karai dagi khallaga sem gya ganda legislatures in dugi marakti sem aduna sagi koina MLA sing board karaga MLA sing dugi marakti koina cabinet minister ga khanba gi type ko adu mai to na koi board state and union gi level da koi smaina koi sanari bu keno se buni ko aduna ngasai executive si legislature ki keno se da gi khallaga semani na executive si kedoba legislature da responsible way executive no type thabak thong mam si magi keno se legislature da ngasai gi akoina tawri si sini haidana lekhai ta na ko mari sum na ngasai gi moida khangan ba moina tawri si kai am yaw de havna sing ba du gi keno ma legislature the responsible way ma maina pili. Whereas presidential systems na kamai to ga kan the presidential system is based on the theory of separation of powers and does not permit any person to serve simultaneously in both executive and legislature. Presidential system si masidana masai theory of separation of powers si yanthok na adana sidaida mi amana legislature gi paramasu weraga executive ta sabtaw sigi posting asai same yada sidana presidential system dana executive ki bodies the yawna executive to yawba legislature ki saruk yawna legislature yawna mi amana executive ta legislature ta ani mag ta yawna pose presidential systems like Indian legislature exists at two levels, at the union level, the Parliament of India, and state level, which is called state legislatures. Parliament is the creation of the constitution, is the supreme representative authority of the people. It is the highest legislative organ and the national forum for the articulation of public opinion. And a parliament has karigi the makta maru no have the samlabna koina yang abada parliament has supreme law making body in India asi ngasai constitution in that same constitution ki makada my provisions ki makada aduga parliament asina supreme representative authority of the people wa nam di kaino kan ngasai ki lok sabha and rajya sabha ko ki bicameral ba sai two houses like na lok sabha ga rajya sabha lok sabha na miyam na directly what thadaraga kan bam using ware aduga rajya sabha na magi council of states na labor Lavasiki to another station the Magi population size Yankanda Sagi Moina more representative Massing Asusu can buy the now Pagi Rai Sabada Pagi states in the representative labor can see possibly is the highest legislative organ and the national forum for the articulation of public opinion. As I seen a parliament you often the Nidum parliament sing as I highest legislative organ legislature have them as I union level legislature. Parliaments na mana kwai wang magan way aduga masi national forum for the articulation of public opinion having a saigi actually ba miyam na kaigumba maroiba issue amada lebaki maru oina kan issue amada na saigi ko phondorok ba aning ba pamba ko saigi organize ba thoughts in ko madugi phenomenon si पुथोरकांदा मोड मैम से पुथोरकांदा ngसाigi khana nainanabagi keno ma soba highest level gi keno national forum oina serve su tawa parliament adana hoji akoina union legislature gi wafam jida mo kuthana yengba kanda man highest article 79 gi makada parliament consists of the president and the two houses and akoina parliament haga di saigi just lok sabha rajya sabha jina parliament se koi oira oina khale do the presidency we have see article 79 of the Lok Sabha is subject to dissolution while the Rajya Sabha is the permanent chamber which cannot be dissolved. The office of the president also never remains vacant. Adana parliament gi keno sida khanan na rakda koina hoji ure madudi parliament has the yaw the Lok Sabha Rajya Sabha as well as president. Adana Lok Sabha jiti asai gi kedoba subject to dissolution. Aiba House and Elabisda, Lok Sabha Haiba, Parliamentary House City, Saigi, Mutat Paya, Kaigumba, Kibamna, Matana Yada, the Namasaki, Mutatawaya, the Agadi Mazi, Madame Mutakivia, dissolved over Yaya, usually exists over Lok Sabhas. Adubu, Raya Sabha Visiti, and the minor dissolved over Mazdi, Saki, permanent on the labor, Aduma, legislature, and woman Yaida, Saruaman. Aduga, Saigi president Sizu, Yagi president gi fam Sizu, the president, American president is not a part of the legislature, which is called Congress, while the Indian president is an integral part of parliament. America gi system ga India gi system ga kara khenai adu gi khudam maibu ngasai America gi presidency US ki presidency ngasai gi US ki Congress aiba mogi legislature ko Congress ay akoina parliament ay US Congress ki para mo oide American presidency Joe Biden ji oiba US president ma American Congress ki saru mo oide adugu India ki president oidi koigi Srimati Murmu siti mari ke dawa India ki parliament ki saru mo oide but he cannot sit and participate in the deliberations in any of the two houses adugu India ki presidency parliamentary saruk ama oiragasu part and parcel of the parliament oiragasu sai ke dawa parliament ki two houses Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha ki magi koigi sitting side dare moigi mifam wa khana nai na ko pasi ki keno since da koigi deliberation since da mas saruk ya laite The president summons and prorogues the house from one session to another and has the power to dissolve the Lok Sabha. The president ki powers is the manusana yembaganda parliament ki laiba ki magi structural kenosda India ki presidency na kedowa Lok Sabha Rajya Sabha moi singa sai ki kaya ni ki samon to was minor no sitting ama cannot talk the way address session ama cannot talk the way address na mana Kangalaganda Magi site get the minor and Tobiai. Natragana, Hogi, Zuzi Laiva session ama, Sataiva session ama, Mana Sai Kedova, Hogi Lefen by the October, discontinue to Hanbiai. Azagi Atopa Mana, President Yawa Power Si Magi, Power Season Aganda Lok Sabagi, Lok Sabai Ba Hogi, House of the People Sing Sai, must it dissolve to Via, must it Motativia, President Madi Power. Adubu president Rajya Sabha dissolved a bill cannot become law without president's assent even though the bill may be passed by both the houses. Adagi president gi yamna akhanaba magi power ma haiga di India gi parliament ki provisions pibada masai gi bill lama kogi both Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha na pass aura ga su masai gi madugi bill lo ek one bakanda kogi president gi ayawa magi signature sang my assent adana president my assent pidragadi Lok Sabha Rajya Sabha na pass our bill se sagi law one bangam da the president also has the power to promulgate ordinances when both houses are not in session. These ordinances, though temporary in nature, have the same force and the power as a law passed by parliament. Adagi yamna interesting way ba mana sagi yagi union gi kenosda hogi legislature gi framework sida president na sai kayumba Lok Sabha Rajya Sabha gi like Lok Sabha Rajya Sabha ani maksi ngasai moi session manung nataba matamda kayumba khanna ba film kharadagi leba nga ko gi ꯂꯩꯕꯥꯛꯁꯤꯒꯤ law and order ꯒꯤ ꯀꯔꯤꯒꯤ ꯐꯤꯕꯝꯁꯤꯗꯩꯗ ꯈꯨꯗꯣꯡꯆꯥꯅꯅꯕ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ordinance ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯅ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯦꯁꯤꯗꯦꯟꯒꯤ ꯑꯈꯟꯅꯕ ꯀꯣ ꯃꯥꯒꯤ ꯇꯧꯕ ꯉꯝꯕ ꯍꯥꯏꯇꯥꯔꯦ ꯃꯥꯒꯤ ꯄꯥꯋꯔꯁꯤ ꯁꯤꯖꯤꯟꯅꯔꯀꯥꯟꯗ ꯃꯥꯅ ordinance ꯆꯠꯅꯍꯟꯕ ꯉꯝꯃꯦ ꯁꯦꯝꯃꯒ ꯑꯗ ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯤꯕ ordinance temporarily ꯑꯣꯏꯔꯒꯁꯨ ꯃꯥꯁꯦ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ same force and power as a law passed by parliament pass ꯇꯧꯕ lawꯒ ꯆꯞ ꯃꯥꯟꯅꯅ ꯃꯥꯒꯤ ꯀꯩꯅꯣꯁꯦ ꯆꯠꯅꯒꯅꯦꯕ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯦꯁꯤꯗꯦꯟꯅ promulgate ꯇꯧꯕ ordinance ꯑꯗꯨꯅ ꯃꯁꯤꯅꯤ ꯉꯁꯥꯏꯒꯤ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯦꯁꯤꯗꯦꯟꯒꯤ ꯃꯥꯒꯤ ꯄꯥꯋꯔꯁꯤꯡꯒꯤ ꯃꯔꯛꯇꯀꯣ ꯈ꯭ꯋꯥꯏꯗꯒꯤ ꯑꯈꯟꯅꯕ ꯑꯃ ꯃꯁꯤ ꯑꯥꯔꯇꯤꯀꯜ 85 111 and 123 ꯀꯣ ꯁꯤꯒꯤ ꯃꯈꯥꯗ ꯁꯤꯒꯤ ꯄꯥꯋꯔꯁꯤ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯦꯁꯤꯗꯦꯟꯅ ꯑꯦꯛꯁꯔꯁꯥꯏꯖ ꯇꯧꯏ ꯂꯣꯛ ꯁꯚꯥꯒꯤ ꯋꯥꯐꯝꯗ people of the country directly elect members of the lower house ko lok sabha se lower house na khangare india ki context ko upper house na rai sabha ko na it includes not more than 530 members chosen by direct election from territorial constituencies in the states and not more than 20 members to represent the union territories na lok sabha the representative lok abasi miyam ni miyam ki sabha miyam ki ꯀꯩꯅꯣ ꯍꯥꯏꯇꯥꯔꯦ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯐꯣꯔꯝ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯅꯤ ꯉꯁꯥꯏꯒꯤ ꯂꯣꯛ ꯁꯚꯥꯁꯦꯀꯣ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯅ ꯁꯤꯝꯄꯜ ꯇ꯭ꯔꯥꯟꯁꯂꯦꯁꯟ ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯒꯗꯤ ꯑꯗꯨꯅ ꯃꯤꯌꯥꯝꯁꯤꯅ ꯗꯥꯏꯔꯦꯛꯂꯤ ꯀꯩ ꯍꯥꯏꯅꯤ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯗꯦꯃꯣꯀ꯭ꯔꯦꯇꯤꯛ ꯐꯪꯁꯅꯤꯡꯁꯤꯗ ꯄꯥꯔꯇꯤꯁꯤꯄꯦꯠ ꯇꯧꯕꯁꯦ ꯃꯁꯤꯒꯤ ꯈꯨꯗꯣꯡꯆꯥꯗꯕ ꯃꯥꯒꯤ ꯉꯁꯥꯏꯒꯤ ꯁ꯭ꯄꯦꯁꯀꯤ ꯀꯔꯤꯒꯤꯀꯣ ꯉꯁꯥꯏꯒꯤ ꯄꯣꯄꯨꯂꯦꯁꯟꯁꯦ ꯆꯥꯎꯔꯛꯄꯅꯤꯅ ꯃꯗꯨ ꯂꯩꯕꯅꯤꯅ ꯉꯁꯥꯏꯒꯤ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯊ꯭ꯔꯨ ꯔꯤꯄ꯭ꯔꯖꯦꯟꯇꯦꯇꯤꯚꯁ ꯂꯩꯕꯥꯛ ꯉꯥꯛꯄꯒꯤ ꯁꯤꯁꯇꯦꯝꯁꯦ ꯂꯥꯛꯑꯀꯥꯟꯗ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯏꯟꯗꯥꯏꯔꯦꯛ ꯗꯦꯃꯣꯀ꯭ꯔꯦꯁꯤ ꯍꯥꯏꯇꯥꯔꯦꯀꯣ ꯑꯗꯨꯒꯤ ꯁꯤꯁꯇꯦꯝꯁꯦ ꯃꯈꯥꯗꯨꯗ ꯀꯩꯗꯧꯕ ꯃꯤꯌꯥꯝꯁꯤꯅ ꯃꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯃꯤꯍꯨꯠꯁꯤꯡꯁꯦ ꯈꯜꯂꯦꯕ ꯗꯥꯏꯔꯦꯛꯂꯤ ꯏꯂꯦꯛ ꯇꯧꯔꯦ ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯤ ꯚꯣꯠ ꯊꯥꯗꯩ ꯑꯗꯩ ꯃꯀꯨꯏ ꯀꯨꯏꯗꯅ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯃꯅꯤꯄꯨꯔꯗ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯂꯣꯛ ꯁꯚꯥꯒꯤ ꯀꯣ ꯏꯂꯦꯛꯁꯟ ꯇꯧꯈ꯭ꯔꯦ ꯑꯗꯩꯗ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯉꯁꯥꯏꯒꯤ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯃꯤꯌꯥꯝꯁꯤꯡ ꯊꯣꯛꯑꯒ इलेक्टोरल रोल चंबसिंग अखोई भोट हालेको मदुगुनी अखोइना चाइगी मणिपुरी लोक सभा की एमपी खननबा अखोइना भोट हालेको अदना हाइबा अपन मसिंगजे अखोइगी 530 दगी अखोइगी हेलोइदबने मसिंग चाइगी डायरेक्ट इलेक्शन तौरगा टेरिटोरियल कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसीज सिंग हाइबदी मणिपुर की कंटेक्स्ट अखोइगी लोक सभा दा एमपी अनि लई अमना अखोइगी inner parliamentary constituency are amana outer parliamentary constituency are na haiba constituency ani sida ko vote tawki ko aibe ko lok sabha da mp ani lebanina aduga masagi union territory singi oina di masagi doba members sing se apunba kundagi heloi haidana adumaina thami president may nominate 2 members of the Anglo-Indian community in his opinion the community is not adequately represented in the lok sabha aduga masagi mamanga president की power खरा कोई पसंद नहीं ना करे मरु इबा तो president की power सिंह मरकता तो पामा हायर गति ngसाई president ना Anglo Indian community को कोई Anglo Indian community जे कोई की मिसिंग दी याम रे तो मैं कोई जे कोई की British rule की यानी कोई की सरुग अमोना remnant अमोना कोई की लेहोबा कोई को अदुगुम्बा कोई की cross cultural marriage लगी कोई थोड़ा पालुगुम्बा community अमा खंगी मैं कोई ꯃꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯏꯟꯇꯔꯦꯁ ꯃꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯀꯝꯃ꯭ꯌꯨꯅꯤꯇꯤꯁꯤꯕꯨ ꯍꯦꯟꯅ ꯌꯥꯏꯐꯕ ꯃꯑꯣꯡꯗ ꯀꯩꯅꯣ ꯇꯧꯅꯕ ꯂꯩꯉꯥꯛꯄꯒꯤ ꯀꯩꯅꯣꯁꯤꯗ ꯃꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯑꯐꯕ ꯋꯥꯈꯜꯂꯣꯟꯁꯤꯡ ꯑꯅꯤꯡꯕ ꯑꯄꯥꯝꯕ ꯐꯣꯡꯗꯣꯛꯆꯅꯕꯒꯤꯗꯃꯛꯇ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯑꯦꯡꯒ꯭ꯂꯣ ꯏꯟꯗꯤꯌꯟ ꯀꯝꯃ꯭ꯌꯨꯅꯤꯇꯤ ꯑꯅꯤ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯦꯁꯤꯗꯦꯟꯅ ꯃꯣꯏꯁꯦ ꯀꯔꯤꯒꯨꯝꯕ ꯐꯖꯅ ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯤꯕ ꯂꯣꯛ ꯁꯚꯥꯁꯤꯗ ꯔꯤꯄ꯭ꯔꯖꯦꯟ ꯇꯧꯗ꯭ꯔꯦ ꯃꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯃꯤꯁꯤꯡꯁꯦ ꯌꯥꯝꯖꯗꯕꯅꯤꯅ ꯃꯣꯏꯁꯦ ꯃꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯃꯤꯍꯨꯠ ꯈꯟꯕ ꯉꯝꯗ꯭ꯔꯦ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯒꯤ ꯋꯥꯈꯜ ꯃꯉꯣꯟꯗ ꯑꯅꯤꯡꯕ ꯐꯥꯎꯕ ꯂꯩꯔꯒꯗꯤ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯦꯁꯤꯗꯦꯟꯅ powers president distribution of seats among the state is based on the principle of territorial representation, which means each state is allotted seats on the basis of its population in proportion to the total population of all the states. Adana ngasagi yam interesting way si state singda ngasagi lok sabha da kogi se manipur da gi akoi mp manga ohen gi habject yade koi huji pawde lok sabha da mp कोई अनी खतनी कोई ना था भी आई सी मसाई मसी का इग्ना करना मसाई प्रिंसिपल ऑफ टेरिटोरियल रिप्रेजेंटेशन की मखादा स्टेट अमदा मागी अलॉटेड तो बस मणिपुर स्टेट की पॉपुलेशन की साइज का अपुनबा स्टेट्स म्यान इंडिया की स्टेट्स म्यान की पॉपुलेशन की केनो सिगा कोई होलक पकांदा मसाई मागी खाइदोर पाइदरे मणिपुर स्टेट ता साथुम लोकसभा की वेना एमपी सेट क्या पीबे याबे ना होलक पकांदा एमपी अनी बुक्ति पीबे याय है ना कोई तंपाकी एरिया खरगा कोई सिंग एरिया खरगा single area ge adjust tong kan da koi outer parliamentary hadan ama form tawre aduga inner gi hadan ama ko gi ayam valley gi area sing ko si funsal kan da ama ga tawre mai taw na koi set ani phang ko. Each state is divided into territorial units called constituencies, which are more or less of the same size in terms of the population. State the constituencies, parliamentary constituencies, inner and outer Manipur the Kairako. The Masi, some population, Natasu Sarakpa, Manarap Toba population size, the Torgana by MP Mono, Tambayuani constituency. Members of Lok Sabha are elected on the basis of the adult franchise. Every adult who has attained 18 years of age is eligible to vote. The tenure is 5 years. However, it can be dissolved earlier by the president. Adana ngasai Lok Sabha gi members in si adult franchise and sahi traipan ko suraba voter rights ko exercise to anaba electoral roll salaba. New Kudimana Sai Botadara Ganda Kanmani Hariba, members of Lok Sabha si MPC Magi, office the Legadava Magi, Genosi, tenure si Sahi Mangani, and the Buhari was Sahi Mangazi, Sahi, Pegumba, Presidena, Pagi Lok Sabha, dissolved or Madigi, Sahi Manga shooting, them to some give a Haidareko, never known of election or canal. To be a member of Lok Sabha, a person should be the citizen of India and must have completed 25 years of age, plus all other qualifications that are prescribed by the law. And now Lok Sabha member amo oigi haragadi hariba miyo edu India citizen oigadabani aduga loina masagi sahi kumangadi sugadamni plus adotopa oigi qualifications for criminal activities amamada sena da report about the wakan mentally sound oigo padu da na oigi magi nevasigi Lona Bayiko, Makara, my eligibility criteria, Adu fulfill over me or a candidate is free to contest from any parliamentary constituency in any states in India. And the Sigi am interesting way Zagi candidate amana, I did bold with Mio Mana, Mana Yagi, any atopa state key constituency, a mother hector board lepi. Lepadi ay tawada umaka ni karo have makapoli aina ngasi se West Bengal the try UP that like parliamentary se amada ay bole ke have got I think would be a constitutional do you can do a person cannot be a member of both houses of the parliament. A candidate may contest from several seats but can have only one seat according to his choice despite being elected from more than one seat. Adana kitang hena kutaraganda Mioy Mana Parliament House Animaki member of the Havadi I Rai Sabadu, Lok Sabadu, Animal to MP Viade, Lok Sabah or the Rai Sabada or the Rai Sabah or the Lok Sabah, the Amadi Kangadavani, Animal of Viade Havani, Aduga. Candidate Amana, Sagi both say, Tonga said, ma'am, lagi mana fight away, contest away. Adubu, Masagi Mana. Kayani bagi constituency ani humda board kara gazu maga represent tawada di parliament amakatana sid amakatama paigani aduga atai do ma surrender to. If a person is elected from both state legislature and parliament, and if he does not resign from state legislature within the defined time period, he will forfeit his seat in parliament. Adagi atopam na kanaguma miyo ma mazeng saigi state ki legislature da su parliament su ani magta khanjala Aduga Loina Aduga Roina Namazna Kaigumba, state legislators, the Gikaguma Mari, Pai from the resigned Todra within a defined time period. As I marry Sibuki Matam Sida Haidana Mana, P. Viman the Mana resigned of the target, Parliamengi Mana, but Karagazu, MP can Tazogan, forfeit over. Sinning as I give a Lepadi, but MLA or Minister Mogoy or Nokamane Pugida, Education Minister, by Honorable Education Minister, by the Amazon Basanuma Madam, Cabinet Minister, Pai Nadum, by MP, Loksava MP, Board Lepinatra, Adomasai, Manaka, Karagandati, Sagi Sumba, Matamkari Manunda Magi, Tadopada. A member should not hold any office or profit under central or state government except those that are exempted by a law of parliament and should not have been declared as an insolvent or of unsound mind by a competent court. adana ngasai haiba MP oiba mioi amana atopa office of profit under central or state government gi makha na traga central government gi makha laiba hoigi kayani hoigi thabam da to ya de aida sai tolop saba thaba haidare ba adu to ya de except those that are exempted by a law of parliament and should not have been declared as an insolvent or by sound mind by a competent court aiba mana office atopa paiba yaba khar lai law na yaba da exempt to parliament na yaba SC sigum office ta di ma du office to gi office bearer or na dum MP ori ya have conditions khar lai aduga loina laina ngasai gi hariba mioi si magi wakhan punging gi kayani hoyi anaba laita ba dare ko normal person oi ba du mami hoy ga damni haidana ngasai competent court ki side gi piba kayani by certificate to ma declaration no minus sang haidana tham disqualifications from membership when he remains absent from the sessions of the House of 60 days without prior permission or when he voluntarily acquires the citizenship of another country or is under any acknowledgement of allegiance to a foreign state ko aduna asagi Lok Sabha gi member oiba mioi ma asagi maje magi phamdudagi disqualify to ba mabu tabak tudagi lothopagi ofam jila pasi kam matana lapya heba kanda ko remains absent from the sessions of the House of 60 days without prior permission. Hanana mangjawnana kogi ayaba niraga masumai tawna kayuma anaba dagi kayuma thaba khradagi sessions kogi 60 days gi session si sule leptana masna yawraktraba hanana ayaba lowraga natabada namda da kayim haida mana 60 days session si so yawba lagtraba aitade ma disqualified daw natragana mana masana yazana atopa leba amagi citizenship mana lowra habdi india gi citizen amani haidana ngasagi MP webada ngasagi magi eligibility criteria da lege ko he should be a citizen of the country and should have reached the age of 25 years of age in upon adugi citizenship of india do madu paina natraga madu ke no tawgana atopa leba amagi citizenship mana lawsalura ade ta ma disqualify da adu natragasu kaiguma mana indiagi citizen amagi role di lawraga mana bolet na kodana parliament da kogi member oiragasu kaiguma magi uni wakan gi kaino si kogi allegiance sabadi mana ngasagi lupsaba magi yani ko yazabasina atopa foreign state ko amada mana adugi misang ngomda hagadra magi lebang ning bagi kaino se India da laitra topa lebak ki keno lowena ningbo taraga di madui condition du gi keno stasu MP du ngasai gi disqualify to wi ai sin Rai Sabha gi wafam da hojik ngasai gi Lok Sabha gi lotion ngai pa Rai Sabha gi wafam da Rai Sabha or Council of States na ke dawa is the House of Representatives of the states ngasai Lok Sabha sina miyam gi representatives magi constituency khaido kanda madagi miyamna bothara represent tawro haidana tharaga damaina parliament gi Lok Sabha da phamaga afabata tathok tasin tawrona bani Rai Sabha jina muke do state ki representative oi ba da Manipur state ki representative si na huji pawla na di Manipur gi Rai Sabha da koi seat amadagi hena thange ba kaigumba kamna koi gi nominated can over give I magi pongan bagogi exceptional contribution to certain fields ko say medical mo na kay sports kay da ko mas type ta ko adu ju power na di ko gi allotted se Rai Sabha da ko gi representative among jang phangi it consists of not more than 250 members out of which 12 members are nominated by the president from amongst person having special knowledge or practical experience in literature science art and social service Rai Sabha gi apun ba se chani yankhai dagi yaloidabani haru wafam ma thame aduga loina hai ba chani yankhai ji gi manungda member trying thoye madi Rai Sabha gi MP trying thoye madi president of India jina mana nominator magi aning ma magi makhada mana khanba aida kana no karama miosim oigdagi hakanda special persons having special knowledge or practical experience in literature science art and social service हाइबसिंग जिमंग दा फगी माना खर पिंग ना पीरगसु अतोतोबा फिल्म याम अदम चंदनी से लिटरेचर की फील्ड यामना एक्सेप्शनल कंट्रीब्यूशन पीबा नगी साइंस की हिरमदा आर्ट की हिरमदा नगी सोशल सर्विस की हिरमदा फगी यानी लेबाक सिगी वे सिंथानिंगा वे थबक तौरबा दुगुमा मसक नायबा मियोइदा प्रेसिडेंट इकाई खुनु बिवोइना मकोइ खंगलगा एमपी वहन याय राइसमा. The remaining members are elected by the members of the state legislative assemblies on the basis of the population of the state. The Nangasaki, I president nominate over Yaba Moy member trying to taba remaining members of the Raya Sabha, Nasaki over state legislative assembly da. Like population basis the Yang Kanda, state legislative assembly na, what other Nakanda the mine Kangaro. Adana Raya Sabagi MP Kandagi. System ziga Lok Sabha ki MP committee system ziga khara khene na adu ki khena budan. Unlike Lok Sabha, it adopts the method of indirect election. Like Lok Sabha ki na direct election everything as I ko miyam na electoral roll the means alaba voters na vote thadaraga ma apam MP ko ki Lok Sabha ki ma kahanji ay na ko vote thadar na direct election or aduga Raya Sabha ki na indirect election to we have everything as I akoi na both other members of legislative assembly MLA and Manipur state ki legislative assembly da total 66 like high 66 na moina veloba moina mo moise koi miyam na both other bani both other khan bani adu Raya Sabha ki matang di miyam na dari both other da bida high miyam na both other khan ni ba MLA compose bi moina election da ga na sai Raya Sabha ki MP khan ni lo. There is no uniformity in the members of representatives of the Council of States. It largely depends on the population of the state. The state with larger population has more representative in the House. For example, Nagaland has 1 member while UP has 34 members in Raya Sabha. As I give, like the members of the representatives of the Council of States uniformity later. USA की context दी के दोबा United States of America इधर दी मोगी Senate इधर ना मोगी लाइबा bodies दा USA की state खुदे मोगी member अनी नीचा मारना uniformity ये मदा मोगी representative अदुबु India की Raya Sabha है बा मोगी Council of States की के नोसिदा दी bodies दा दी state India की लाइबा state में आंसर की मागी सब माना बा MP खंडे population की size ये हैं खल्ले adana asoba missing yam state kina representative yami aduga apikpa missing yam state kina pagi missing yam de MP Raya Sabha MP je adugi ni Manipur na ngasi pa Raya Sabha de MP amada yana thawa gam de population yam adana high system si ngasai gi missing yam bagi kenosina pagi decisive role ama laura gadi pagi missing yam de ngai si pagi tuhat pi ba natraga mai koi aning ba pa ma ji koi nam hat pi bagi akiba man la yapani na ngasai ke dore ngasi de Manipur da su pagi missing yam de yadre ma the democracy is all about number game mai bagi pura ma lai ko da masi di kenosi pagi tang koi mun na yengsen da su sum ya da re ko ma the population explosion so koi pam de missing ka he na he so koi laba ki in awa ba su koi ai ngasai labor limited resource kai kras da adu bu ngasai ki power ki kari ki my influence yenga kana mo apik state missing yam da mo singa sai ma ki MP sing masing yam da na aso over missing yam state sing ga yenga propaganda ko ki pen da ba kya ma lai se masi ken wo ma ko na na ba dum yai. The Council of States thus reflect the federal character of representing the states or the units of the federations. Adana Council of States ki kaino sina mo India ki magi quasi federal ki system haidare ko federal ki magi union list state list concurrent list kind of power sharing ki cost union state ki relations ki kai match da federal ki waiba sawong saktam mama yawazi masida khara makai sai contribute to Council of States na maram di magi states ki representatives apagi khallaga parliament ki in order ko house das mana thambasna. It is a continuing chamber as it is a permanent body not subject to dissolution. 1/3 of its members retire at the end of every 2 years and elections are held for the vacant positions. Then high bus chamber, Raya Sabha is chamber city unlike Lok Sabha, ma the permanent body ma dissolved to suya never subject to dissolution. aduna ngasai ma adum continuing with body amani 1/3 of his members retire at the end of every 2 years sahi ani kudingi loisalakpada Raya Sabha gi apunba setugi saru ohum thopagi amadi adum magi tenure se loi kan retirement adum sakidune aduga mun no namu khalakane ba haiba one part gi ko aduga hang ba se sing do dam mention by that zagi not more than 250 sisai adugu 1/3 members say ani gi matung kudingi rotation aina magi tenure loi kan adum retire to ba aduga hang ba se do mo bot to mention haibadi sis myamse at one time loi vacant we so ya lo ma adum continue with body mo ina thamme ba adugi ni ma ji dissolve to bu sia de continuous way ba no mo body mo we ba special powers of Raya Sabha gi akhanna magi power sing pa mana tawung ba akhanna ba magi power sing se kaino yang si Raya Sabha enjoys certain special powers granted by the constitution. It has every right to seek information on all matters which are exclusively in the domain of Lok Sabha. Raya Sabha si gi magi akhanna ba constitution na piba powers gi manung chanbada mana karigumba maru ena khanba wafam singda mana Lok Sabha gi magi Lok Sabha gi domain Lok Sabha gi magi kayani mathau mangam singi manung channa leiba oiragasu any sesang information na mana for the PU haidana mana kokhatanga magi power se Raya Sabha le it has no power to pass a vote of no confidence in the council of ministers. It also does not have much influence on the matters of money bill ka and seasona bagi no confidence motion pass to bagi matang aduga money bill gi matang idani ba magi influence to bang ngam bagi ba Raya Sabha enjoys two exclusive powers. First, under Article 249, it has power to pass a resolution by a majority of no less than 2/3 of the members present and voting, declaring that it is necessary or expedient in the national interest. Atopa exclusive powers ani je aham bagida Article 249 ni makada kedoba. It has power to pass a resolution by a majority of not less than 2/3 of the members present and voting. Leibak segi national interest ki yengakanda masi tawdaba yadabani haidana tawdaba yadabani haibagi niyeng makha sedaida Article 249 gi makhada Raya Sabha na kaidoba magi 2/3 members saru ahum thopagi ani present oigadaba session jida aduga vote su thadagadaba ko madamaina tawakanda resolution pass to power level national interest ki wafam na the matter in such resolution should belong to the state list. The law passed on the matter in the resolution shall be valid for 1 year. Then high ba Raya Sabha ki 2/3 members present and voting tawakanda resolution passed or is there karamba matang dal da yu ha kan ki state list da yawa magi item sings concurrent list ki na da state list da yawa state ki power singi manung yuda kaigumba national interest ki wafam na koigi hena maru paisale masi akoi tawdaba yadre haga di state jo koi supersede to ngam Raya Sabha na my 2/3 members present and voting the resolution lawra ko adu mai tawkanda resolution lawra semai ba laws na ke dawa 1 year validity lay sahi amagi second article 312 ko it provides special power to the Raya Sabha to pass a resolution on another matter, that is to create one or more All India services. The All India services like the Indian Public Service Commission, Indian Administrative Service, Indian Police Service, the Indian Revenue Service, Indian Foreign Service, Indian Postal Service, kind of All India service. Like data, All India service. No na semaji have you wafam lapaganda. Article 312 na Raya Sabha the special power should be like the resolution to be passed under Article 249 under Article 312 also the resolution should be passed by 2/3 of members present and voting in the House. Samarana Article ani maxina the power se Raya Sabha gi masi exercise to gadi mana resolution logo kanda Raya Sabha gi 2/3 members present and voting with the do every resolution do is another yadi. Its compact composition and permanent character provides continuity and stability in the system. But in Indian Parliament, the president ki part sema sit amasway adre president ki mathom manze president tharak taraga jo vice president nan poni natra adana ngasai gi president gi position ji ma vacant so wetre at the same time Rajya Sabha gi magi ko one third sahi ani gi tenure ko ding gi magi kaino sidai da rotation aina retire to re haraga su magi lemori bangai de dum hang dana dum thamaganda Rajya Sabha as a body ngasai gi dum ma je continuous way my permanent character ma dum thamis ne ko ko gi mud banai da ko no mo ne ko the presiding officers Lok Sabha has a speaker as its principal presiding officer and a deputy speaker to assist him, and he acts as presiding officer in the absence of the speaker. Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, moi presiding officers in like other Lok Sabha is the magi speakers na principal presiding officer where the deputy speaker amana magi mateng when na balai aduga kayani kaigumba speakers ina Lok Sabha speakers ina masang amdagi na traga asin bathabaka lagi absent or pakanda. Deputy speakers na magi mohsilaga thabak tawai. The Rajya Sabha is presided by the chairperson, assisted by a deputy chairperson. The latter performs all the duties and functions of the former in case of his or her absence. Sagi zamana na Lok Sabha dana speaker hire aduga Rajya Sabha dana chairperson hire presiding officers aduga mabu assist tori buzna deputy chairperson hire admai tawna zamana na magi presiding officers se ko Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha is mine laire. The Speaker of the Lok Sabha. The office of the Speaker is a symbol of high dignity and authority. Once elected to the office, the Speaker does not have affiliation to any party but works in an impartial manner. He acts as the guardian of the rights and privileges of the members. Adana office of the Speaker is yamna kayani bagi kai khumna ningai oi ba ko yam masak nai ba dugumba thammamu oi ba da. The maze once office magi speaker gi roles the maze khallaba matung da dike do speakers in asagi my political party adu the ID BJP ni Congress ki ni agi CPI ni adu ni adani no ma high ya maze asagi misem kai na da impartial oi ba adu maze na asagi members kudi maki magi rights and privilege masibu nga na ba madu soida ngam da na ko sena ba adu ma guardian mo oi ra ma na thabak to na house in The Speaker has the power to ensure an orderly and efficient conduct of the proceedings of the House. He or she conducts the proceedings of the House, maintains order and decorum in the House, and decides points of order, interprets and applies rules of the House. The Speaker's decision is final in all such matters. And the Speaker's role, I'm sorry, Mama Todisi, House, Mayam, Pulaga, Wakana, Pama, resolution passed over the Kari bill in Amsita, Uganda, Mayamsi, Sweden, Andra, New Zunaka. Arana soyal na tabak maka num sathan na bagi sinlang ba magi maroina dagi ngasai gi discipline kai gram magi tobom topa myam du ko kangon sumna tawba kangon sumna tawba aduga punamaksi kayani bagi this speaker sina loropa warepna final way any pathola pa amma tawba kanda house the speaker certifies whether a bill is money bill or not, and he or she also authenticates that the House has passed the bill before it is presented to other House or President of India for his assent. The Speaker, in consultation with the Leader of the House, determines the order of business. He also decides on the acceptability of questions, motions, and resolutions. The Speaker does not vote in the first instance but can exercise a casting vote in case of a tie. Speakers in a bill amabu sagi move toropukanda masi money bill la normal bill la kaino general libera I'm a single can was mana masaktai certified away. Aduga Loina authenticates that the House has passed the bill before it is presented to other House of President of India for its access. Sagi Lok Sabha speakers in a Lok Sabha na billama passed auraga. Madu Taurabra, Taudibra, Asumba authentication thing as I speakers in a PU. However, Lok Sabha na passed over bill C, Rajya Sabha mu Lankat Kizini. Natragana House animana passed over bill where the Madu President Ayawa extend loan of Picat Paganda, Madu House animana unanimously passed over bill Nyavi can authentication to my certification speakers not aware my signs Yawad. The Speaker, in consultation with the Leader of the House, determines the order of business. Speakers in a more labor, the House of the Leader of the House, Siga Tanara Ganda, Zagi Magi. Sessions in the Tawada Tabak Toram Yanko, the Masai Kari Karama question, Hangan Bayava, the Kari motion resolution, ꯑꯗꯨꯒꯤ ꯊꯕꯛ ꯊꯧꯔꯝ ꯃꯌꯥꯝꯁꯤ ꯄꯔꯤꯡ ꯅꯥꯏꯅ ꯆꯠꯊꯅꯕꯒꯤ ꯀꯩꯅꯣꯁꯤ ꯁꯤꯗꯤ ꯃꯥꯅ ꯑꯆꯧꯕ ꯋꯥꯔꯦꯞ ꯂꯧꯋꯦ ꯍꯥꯏꯇꯥꯔꯦ ꯃꯥꯒꯤ The speaker does not vote in the first instance but can exercise the casting vote in case of a tie. ꯑꯗꯨꯅ ꯍꯥꯎꯁꯇ ꯀꯩꯒꯨꯝꯕ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯚꯣꯠ ꯊꯥꯗꯅꯕꯁꯤꯗ ꯁ꯭ꯄꯤꯀꯔꯁꯦ ꯑꯌꯥꯝꯕ ꯃꯇꯝꯗ ꯃꯥꯁꯤ ꯌꯥꯎꯔꯣꯏ ꯑꯗꯨꯕꯨ ꯀꯩꯒꯨꯝꯕ ꯍꯥꯎꯁꯁꯤꯗ ꯚꯣꯠ ꯊꯥꯅ ꯀꯥꯟꯗ ꯇꯥꯏ ꯊꯣꯛꯑꯕ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯗꯤ ꯆꯞ ꯃꯥꯟꯅꯅ ꯀꯣ ꯌꯦꯁ ꯅꯣ ꯚꯣꯠꯁꯤꯗꯩꯗ ꯌꯦꯁꯀꯤꯁꯨ 10 ꯐꯪꯉꯕ ꯁꯦ ꯐꯣꯔ ꯑꯦꯛꯖꯥꯝꯄꯜ ꯀꯣ ꯌꯦꯁꯀꯤꯁꯨ 10 ꯐꯪꯉꯕ ꯅꯣꯒꯤꯁꯨ 10 ꯐꯪꯉꯕ ꯑꯗꯨ ꯑꯣꯏꯇꯥꯔꯗꯤ ꯃꯥꯒꯤ ꯁꯨꯃꯥꯏꯅ ꯇꯥꯏꯁꯦ ꯂꯩꯔꯀꯥꯟꯗꯗꯤ ꯁ꯭ꯄꯤꯀꯔꯁꯤꯅ ꯃꯥꯒꯤ ꯚꯣꯠꯁꯦ ꯁꯤꯖꯤꯟꯅꯕ ꯌꯥꯏꯑꯕ ꯃꯥꯅ ꯆꯨꯝꯃꯦ ꯈꯟꯕ ꯁꯥꯏꯗꯨꯗ ꯃꯥ ꯚꯣꯠ ꯊꯥꯗꯔꯦ ꯑꯗꯨꯗꯨꯅ ꯉꯝꯕꯅꯦꯕ The Speaker appoints the chairpersons of all the committees of the House and exercise control over the secretarial staff of the House. Magi appointment ki power ni chairpersons committee ki Lok Sabha ki parliament ki my committee myam le ko the Lok Sabha ki my speakers in committees ki chairpersons khan bagot ba the my staff sing kare ki ko Speaker's conduct cannot be discussed in the House except in a substantive motion. His or her salary and allowances are charged to the Consolidated Fund of India. Mana phangiba tolob adagi allowance keka myam se koi Consolidated Fund of India haibisdagi ko directly lai aduga magi mathau ngamam pangthokpagi keno sida kanagomba karana koi wahang hangaga ju khut thangalaga su khuthilaga ju madu ngasai gi substantive oiba motion nama ko haibi yamna summe wafam jima hakpa keno mo ori haibagi keno mo miyeng ama thamakanda motion je move tawraba kanda khatada magi conduct se ko house ta kaya ni misang mikhai na ai do maji matik chai cha de ha na sim su mo yi post khana nei na ba otherwise madu ko consider park to one there ko a specific feature of the speaker's office is that even when the house is dissolved the speaker does not vacate his office he continues in office until the new house elects a new speaker in the absence of the speaker the deputy speaker presides the house adana ngasai gi interesting oi ba keno amaga magi mo mato ma hairaga di ngasai gi Speaker ki office se kedoba House ina Lok Sabha ji dissolve tawra phawda Speaker ki office di mai fam ji hang ba yade ma je dum office ta dum magi Speaker ki position de dum leng laigana ano House ano Lok Sabha ki keno vote thadana ga mu khala je phaw mai office de dum hinga laigana Speaker se ko aduga kaiguma ka anda Speaker si absent oi ba kana deputy Speaker na koi House to precise tawi musima mana su pan reba Zingna Rajya Sabha ki chairperson ni magi ko Rajya Sabha ki chairperson si kamai to ya kanda the vice president of India is the ex official chairperson of Rajya Sabha vice president of India ki magi function magi power responsibility yang pan maje vice president is the ex official chairperson of Rajya Sabha ki but during the period when he or she acts as president or discharges the functions of the president he does not perform the duties as the presiding officer of the Rajya Sabha the vice president na kaigumba president laitaba matamda kaigumba mana president ki mathau mangam jing pangthoi kanadi ma je ke doba Rajya Sabha ki presiding officer in a function to vice president the vice president is elected by the members of both the houses of parliament assembled at a joint meeting in accordance with the system of proportional representation by means of a single transferable vote and the voting as such election is by secret ballot Vice President Khan Bagi Moni, seeing as I give Parliament House and Lok Sabha Rajya Sabha Punba joint meeting ama Hamakanda, Madaidan as I give proportional representation gi Kutanga, Sagi single transferable vote I will say, Masi season Akanda secret ballot system da Kanada board pin I will command with the loan of Tunda, Hoina Tadariba, Sumina Tawakanda, Vice President Secretary. The vice president is not a member of either House of Parliament or a House of the Legislature of any state. Aduga vice presidency ngasai parliament gi Rajya Sabha gi Lok Sabha gi member amatu oibyade aduga state ki any state ki koi legislature gi ka member su oibyade He holds office for a term of 5 years from the date on which he enters office or until he resigns or is removed from his office by a resolution passed by a majority of members of the Rajya Sabha and agreed by Lok Sabha. Sahi manga gi term ni mana resign tawdribu natraga ma je thabak tagi koi lokthokri phawa ba. The functions and duties of the chairperson of Rajya Sabha are the same as those of the Speaker of Lok Sabha. Rajya Sabha ki chairperson ki phamji mana tawba Lok Sabha Speaker Legislative procedure legislative procedure है जिन तसेना है कि legislature है कि legislation की थबक तो बनी law making ni आई दादी हुजी law making की कैनो से कमाइना law जे सेम गया जुनी को कहीं law making is the primary function of the legislation aduna ngasai gi union gi level da na parliament le re aduga state gi level da na koi gi manipur state legislative assembly ka koi lai bas maina sina ngasai gi koi law making kan oi duni ko na body oi duni aduna law making is the primary function of the legislature gi mathau ji kai no ha ga di say members of the legislative assembly when MLA has MLA ga ji kari na mota ko na khale bna ga na moina leibak si phasana niyom sumna lengak tana chokhat pa nungai ba tangbu leita ba ko hana suna ba yaw da ba ko degi leibak ki lanthom mayam ji phasana sena ba aduga masibu matik cha ba ko niyom sumna ngai gi nyam sinda yawandana ko myam gi yaifa punsi sengban na ba haida re ko masida ko gi kanglam myam si sem ba da ko gi moi ko se thadan na nam ne lo sem na ba ne ko na legislature sing ko na bo thadara khale si ko stages of legislation law assembly gi magi staging ni ko na maroina stage hum lai ko na hamda first stage is the introduction of a bill which embodies the proposed law and is accompanied by the statement of objects and reasons. It is also called the first reading of the bill. Law semge haragadi hamada introduction of a bill. Law waitinga when passed out da koigi kedoba bill when move torgadamne bill amoina introduce to wala haiba bill sida sari koina koheningi ba law igeno se da yawarbuni ko adora madrida statement of objects and reasons ana ngasai kai gidamukta sigi law je sugumba law ma koi sema mathau tarali bano ko le bano masina kari kanahan gani kolan gani haibagi magi kayani explanatory part ai dare ko magi valid reasons to madu piba adu su yawana ko no introduction to was and haiba introduction of the bills masigi first stage kai ko ga kana masibu first reading of the bill haina su khane man yana nas maina koi ano walo ma semasi have si mayam ji ma man koi patho khamena ba dare adu na madu saigi introduction of the bill or first reading of the bill haina ko there are two types of bills ordinary bills and money bills ko bills saying as I ordinary have money bills have my ani thona khare ko a bill other than money or financial bill may be introduced in either house of parliament and requires passes in both houses before it can be presented for the president's assent. Money bill will be a bill other than money or financial bill money or financial bill natabo to ordinary bill bill se money bill ga financial bill ga khara di khena bani ko adabu sida man hai se money bill or financial bill natabo ordinary bill makhal ama ko may be introduced in either house of parliament Rajya Sabha da webi Lok Sabha da webi akoina sugumba lu ma semaji hadana introduced to pa council ko and requires passes in both houses before it can be presented for the president assent ko I have ordinary bill si asagi house animakta pass to them Lok Sabha da su Rajya Sabha da su president gi ayaba law na ba thadring before it can be presented for the president assent ko Lok Sabha na pass aur aega madu president gi assent law na ba hekta thaba ya Lok Sabha na pass aur Rajya Sabha da thanga kane masi khana biu masi pass to Rajya Sabha na move to introduce to area madu Lok Sabha da thanga kane house animaxina pass aur ba bill si yare na khana ra matung da pass aur buzi moina mu ke dawa sai man hai gre speaker gi kai ama magi aya buzin loina authentication to matung da pai president da magi assent PBU masibu law ego moina pass on ba aya PBU ai na thangala kadam na A bill may be introduced either by a minister or a private member. Every bill that is introduced in the House has to be published in the Gazette. Bill lama je kedoba kogi minister mana natraga private member mana kogi masi introduce to the House da ko suma bill lama pass to see ya every bill that is introduced in the House has to be published in the Gazette. Gazette is a official ba kogi kayani some publication amani ko kogi matam ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯄꯨꯊꯣꯛꯄ ꯑꯗꯨꯒꯨꯝꯕ ꯑꯣꯐꯤꯁꯤꯌꯦꯜ ꯑꯣꯏꯕ ꯀꯩꯅꯣꯃꯅꯤ ꯃꯁꯤꯗꯩꯗ ꯀꯔꯤ ꯍꯥꯏꯅꯤ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯒꯚꯔꯟꯃꯦꯟꯠꯁꯤꯅ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯄꯨꯈꯠꯂꯛꯄ ꯕꯤꯜꯁꯤꯡ ꯍꯥꯏꯇꯥꯔꯦ introduce ꯇꯧꯔꯛꯄ ꯕꯤꯜ ꯈꯨꯗꯤꯡꯃꯛꯁꯦ ꯃꯁꯤꯗ ꯐꯣꯡꯉꯦꯕ ꯒꯦꯖꯦꯠꯁꯤꯗꯀꯣ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ documentation record keeping ꯍꯥꯏꯇꯥꯔꯦ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯒꯦꯖꯦꯠꯇ ꯐꯣꯡꯉꯒ normally there is no debate at the time of introduction of a bill ꯑꯗ ꯉꯁꯥꯏꯒꯤ ꯑꯌꯥꯝꯕ ꯃꯇꯝꯗ ꯕꯤꯜ ꯑꯃ introduce ꯇꯧꯔꯀꯥꯟꯗ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯗꯤꯕꯦꯠ ꯀꯩꯁꯨ ꯇꯧꯗꯦ ꯕꯤꯜꯁꯤꯒꯤ ꯃꯇꯥꯡꯗꯀꯣ ꯉꯁꯥꯏꯒꯤ ꯐꯥꯔꯁ ꯔꯤꯗꯤꯡ ꯇꯧꯏ ꯃꯌꯥꯝ ꯁꯤꯒꯨꯝꯕ ꯕꯤꯜ ꯑꯃ ꯄꯨꯈꯠꯂꯦ ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯅꯀꯣ ꯑꯗꯣ ꯃꯗꯨꯗ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯊꯣꯏꯗꯣꯛꯄ ꯗꯤꯕꯦꯠ ꯇꯧꯅꯗꯦ the member who introduced the bill may make a brief statement indicating both aims and objects of the bill ꯑꯗꯨꯕꯨ ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯤꯕ ꯕꯤꯜꯁꯤꯕꯨ introduce ꯇꯧꯔꯤꯕ ꯉꯁꯥꯏꯒꯤ ꯃꯤꯅꯤꯁꯇꯔ ꯑꯣꯏꯕ ꯌꯥꯏ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯥꯏꯚꯦꯠ ꯃꯦꯝꯕꯔ ꯑꯣꯏꯕ ꯌꯥꯏ ꯃꯥꯅ ꯕꯤꯜꯗ introduce ꯇꯧꯔꯛꯄ ꯀꯥꯟꯗ ꯃꯥꯅ brief statement ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯤ ꯇꯦꯟꯇꯛꯄ ꯋꯥꯔꯣꯜ ꯑꯃꯗꯤ ꯃꯥꯅ ꯊꯝꯒꯅꯦꯕ ꯕꯤꯜꯁꯤꯅ ꯄꯥꯝꯃꯤꯁꯦ ꯀꯩꯅꯣ ꯃꯁꯤꯅ ꯑꯣꯏꯅ ꯄꯥꯁ ꯇꯧꯔꯀꯥꯟꯗ ꯃꯁꯤꯅ ꯀꯔꯤ ꯀꯥꯟꯅꯍꯟꯒꯅꯤ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯁꯤ ꯃꯌꯥꯝꯅ ꯈꯪꯍꯟꯅꯕꯀꯣ ꯀꯟꯚꯤꯟꯁ ꯇꯧꯅꯕ ꯃꯥꯅ ꯑꯗꯨꯒꯤ ꯇꯦꯟꯇꯛꯄ ꯋꯥꯔꯣꯜ ꯑꯃꯗꯤ ꯃꯥꯅ ꯄꯤꯒꯅꯤ If the bill is opposed at this stage, one of the members opposing the bill may be permitted to give his reasons. Karigumba introduce tauba kansida atopa member amana ko oppose tauba sigumba bill lama akhona khanaba mathau ta de masi bill ji kanaroi sigumba law mathau ta de na wire ama karigumba tauragadi mana pi wire to gisu asumarani ko apatagi magi explanation pinabagi kudong sabal lai After this, the question is put to the vote. Introduced the vote. If the House is in favor of introduction of the bill, then it goes to the next stage. House the Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha or House the introduced the bill. Masi Pai Kanagani had an Amoina Yanaragadi. Next stage the second stage. There are 4 alternative courses. First, after introduction of the bill, it may be taken into consideration. Second, it may be referred to a select committee of the House. Third, it may be referred to a joint committee of both the houses. And fourth, it may be circulated for the purpose of soliciting public opinion. Second stage, first stage of introducing the bill, alternative course, second stage. Hamadana introduction of the bill or Matunda Maze, Mayana Kana by the Yana Bagikanoma, Makai Lab. Second, Embassy Belgium, the Kirkumnam, the Kanawa, the Moina Select Committee, House of Select Committee, Mother Sinaraga, Madu Yangsalan. Ahum Subadana, Haiba, Belzi, Joint Committee of the 2 houses, Raisabagi, Boksabagi, upon by Joint Committee. Amada Masagi referred to Ganda Bilzi, Inson View, Masi Tawla Kanagadra Haidana, the Mina, Pukat Baba. Mari Subudana, Masagi, it may be circulated for the purpose of soliciting public opinion. Miamna Kari, Kali, Masi Matasta, and Apagi Kana Navapagi, Masi circulate over Hadareko. The first 3 options are generally adopted in the case of routine legislation, while the last option is resorted to only when the proposed legislation is likely to arouse public controversy and agitation. Ahambagi course ahum city ayama matamda loina season ayu. Bill introduced or consider toba select committee of the house the Kanaba Natragana joint committee of the 2 houses the refer to city ahum city adum chane adubu mari subagi public opinion solicite tonaba bagi miam da bagi lauthoka na khangalaganda Miang Aninga Pamba, Miang Wyatt Miams, Tawi Positi Kara, Pagna Talk Table. Ada Masigum Basit, Tawdavi Ada Matansina, Karamakanda Naganda, Haiba Bilsi, Pastor Bukanda, Miamda, Neva Miamna, Soba, Kayani, Iran, Horakadova, Penda Fundunga Kadava, Akiba Sinava, Matanga di Bildu, the minor public when you circulate or Ganda, micro public opinion, ying have time. The day one of this motion is carried out, the principles of the bill and its general provisions may be discussed. If the bill is taken into consideration, amendments to the bill and a clause-by-clause consideration of the provisions of the bill is undertaken. Adanangazagi bill do consider to avoid the bill dugi and other yaw provisions in a particular kaida creation clause-by-clause Kanamena. If the bill is referred to the select committee of the House, it considers the bill and submits its report to the House. The select committee that referred to the select committee, the House report submit. Then the clauses of the bill are open to consideration and amendments are admissible. This is the most time-consuming stage. Once the clause-by-clause consideration is over and every clause is voted, the second reading of the bill comes to an end. And clause-by-clause bill is going paraga naina kanda semdokadaba khokadaba yamsin loina lawra matungda mai tawkanda ngasai both hadana kanda second reading of the bill se loishalaba aduna masigi oinadi sidaida akoi sumaina loishalaji ka masigi makha tabada masigi legislature gi pass ya koi yam sangmanina next class amaga no tawba koi daka lei aduna masi phawi oinadi sigi keno sida lepasi ka thank you. Yeah,